The shuttle doors opened with a soft hiss. Stepped out onto Medical Station Theta 7, carrying only a single bag. He looked around at the massive space station that would be his new home. Everything was bigger than he expected. The ceiling stretched up 3 times higher than any hospital on Earth. The corridors were wide enough to fit 5 humans walking side by side. But understood why. This place wasn't built for humans, it was built for everyone else. A tall, insect-like creature walked toward him. It had 6 legs and moved with a clicking sound. Its head tilted as it looked down at. The translator device on its belt beeped. "You are the human medic," the creature said. Its voice came out flat through the translator. "I am Chief Medical Officer, follow me." Followed through the station. Everywhere he looked he saw aliens. Some had scales, some had feathers, some were just floating clouds of gas inside containment suits. None of them looked like him. They stopped at a medical bay. Inside, 3 other beings waited. One was human. She had short black hair and tired eyes. She looked at and gave a small nod. "This is," said. "She is also from Earth. She will show you our procedures." The other 2 introduced themselves. Was short and blue with wet skin like a frog. He seemed friendly. Looked like a person made of purple crystal. He did not seem friendly at all. "Humans," said slowly, "from a death world, with heavy gravity and dangerous animals. You should not be doctors, you should be soldiers." Said nothing. He had heard this before. Earth was called a death world because of how harsh it was. Most aliens came from gentler planets. They thought humans were too violent to be doctors. Led to a small room. "You will study our medical guidelines. Do not use human methods here. Galactic procedures only. We save lives slowly and carefully, not with your aggressive techniques." After left came to the room. She looked tired. "Don't let them get to you," she said quietly. "They think we're barbarians. They use medicines that take weeks to work. They avoid any procedure that causes pain. They think our methods are cruel." "Are we cruel?" asked. Shook her head. "We're effective. There's a difference, but try telling them that." For 2 days studied. He learned about alien biology. He learned how fragile most species were. A broken bone that a human could walk on would kill a fever that a human would sleep off could destroy a brain. The galaxy was full of delicate beings. On his 3rd day, the alarms went off. "Emergency in Bay 7, someone shouted. Ran, he found a crowd of medical staff standing around a bed. On the bed lay a merchant. He was skinned with 4 arms. His breathing was wrong. His 4 hearts were beating out of rhythm. "He's dying," said. "Cardiac cascade failure. We've given him stabilizers, but—" "How long until the medicine works?" asked. 12 minutes, maybe less." Looked at the monitors. They would be dead in 3 minutes. "Move," said. He grabbed the portable defibrillator from his kit. It was Earth technology. Simple, brutal, effective. "What are you doing?" demanded. "Saving him." "Place the pads on his chest." He charged the machine. "No, you cannot," shouted. "Electric shock will damage his organs. It is too violent." "He's dying right now," said. "Clear." He hit the button. This body jumped. Every alien in the room gasped. Some turned away. To them it looked like torture. Checked the monitor, still wrong. He charged again. Clear. Another shock. This time the hearts began to sink. Slowly the rhythm became steady. The gasped and opened his eyes. The room went silent. Checked all 4 hearts. He's stable. The medicine can work now. He'll live. Stared at him. That was not protocol." "Protocol would have let him die," said calmly. "You used electricity," said. "You shocked his hearts. That is barbaric." "That is medicine," replied. "On Earth, we've used this for 200 years. It works." A small female pushed through the crowd. She ran to the merchant's bed. Father, you're alive." The merchant reached up with one of his 4 arms. I am." The daughter turned too. her large eyes filled with tears. "You saved him. The others were just watching, but you saved him." Nodded, "That's my job." Later in his office, stood while the chief medical officer paced. "You broke protocol," said. "You used Earth technology without authorization. You performed a violent procedure without consent." "I saved a life," said. "You got lucky." "No," said firmly. "I knew what I was doing. My planet taught me to fight death. Your planet taught you to surrender to it politely." Santini twitched. It was a sign of anger. "You are on notice, human. One more incident like this and you will be sent back to Earth." Left the office, was waiting in the hallway. "I heard what happened," she said. "That was brave and stupid." "Maybe both," agreed. "The family is spreading the word. They're calling you a miracle worker." Shook his head. "I just did my job." As they walked back to the medical bay, approached them. The small blue alien looked thoughtful. "I have been thinking," said, "about what you did today. It was effective, frighteningly effective. Perhaps we have been too cautious." "Perhaps," said. That night lay in his quarters. The gravity on the station was set lower than Earth's. Everything felt too light. He missed the heavy pull of home. His communication device beeped, a message from the family. They thanked him, they praised him, they called him a hero. Didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a doctor who did what was necessary. He didn't know it yet, but word was spreading. Across the station, people whispered about the human who brought someone back from death with lightning. Some were horrified, some were curious, and some began to wonder, maybe these knew something the rest of the galaxy had forgotten. Maybe sometimes, to save a life, you had to be willing to fight. 3 weeks passed, followed the rules. He used galactic procedures. He watched patients die slowly when Earth methods could have saved them quickly. It made him angry, but he stayed quiet. Then the call came. "Cargo ship crashed on Moon 9, the dispatcher announced. 7 survivors, heavy gravity zone. Rescue teams cannot reach them." Studied the data. Gravity is 2.8 times Earth standard. No one can survive in that environment long enough to perform rescue. Stood up, "I can." Everyone turned to look at him. "You," said, "impossible, that gravity would crush your organs." "Earth's gravity is 1.0, said. "I've trained in 2.5. I can handle 2.8 for a few hours." "A few hours," looked shocked. "You would need at least 6 hours to reach them, treat them, and return." "Then I'll work fast," said. Santini twitched. "This is foolish, you will die." "People are dying right now," said. "I'm going." A voice came from behind him. "We're going." Turned, stood there. He was another human, an engineer on the station. Had met him once before. "You need help," said. "I can rig emergency systems, keep people alive while you work." Stepped forward too. "I'm coming." "No," said quickly. "You need to." "Don't," she interrupted. "Don't tell me to stay safe. I'm a nurse. Those people need me." 30 minutes later, 3 humans loaded into a small shuttle. They wore pressure suits designed for high gravity. The suits were heavy. They made movement harder, but they had to wear them. The flight took an hour. Through the shuttle window saw Moon 9. It was and dead. No atmosphere, no life, just rock and heavy gravity. The cargo ship had crashed on the surface. Its hull was split open. Could see bodies inside through the crack. "Landing now," said. "Everyone ready." The shuttle touched down. The moment stood up, he felt it. The gravity pressed down on him like a giant hand. His suit helped, but not much. Every step took effort. Every breath was work. "Stay focused," said to himself. They walked to the crashed ship. It took 15 minutes to cross 200 meters. By the time they reached it, his legs burned. Inside they found the survivors. 7 bird-like aliens with hollow bones and feathers. They were trapped under debris. 3 were unconscious. 1 was screaming. The gravity that was merely exhausting for humans was killing them. "Oh no," whispered. Moved to the first victim. A female, both her legs were crushed. One wing was bent wrong. She looked at him with frightened eyes. "Help," she whispered in broken galactic common. "Please, can't breathe." The gravity was crushing her lungs. "I need power," shouted. "Working on it." Opened his medical kit. He pulled out supplies, Earth supplies, things that would make galactic doctors scream, tourniquets, bone saws, cauterizing tools, battlefield medicine. He injected them with strong painkillers. Galactic doctors would say the dose was too high, but she was dying, didn't have time for gentle. "I'm going to set your legs," he told her. "It will hurt." She nodded weakly. Pulled, the bones ground together, the screamed, but the legs straightened. He applied splints made of metal and foam, quick, crude, effective. "Take over, keep her stable." Moved in. Her face was pale from effort, but her hands were steady. Moved to the next victim. A male, his chest was crushed, internal bleeding, minutes left to live. On Earth this would need surgery. Hours of careful work, had minutes. He pulled out a different tool, an automated surgical device. It was experimental. Earth had been testing it for field medics. Galactic medicine didn't have anything like it. "What is that?" asked. "Automated trauma response system," said. "It'll do the surgery for me." He placed the device on the chest. It beeped once. Then needles extended. They pushed into the body. The jerked but didn't wake. The device's screen showed internal damage. It began to repair what it could. "Barbaric," imagined saying. But barbaric or not, it was working. Behind him shouted, "Power is up. Life support is running." "Good, I need more light over here." For the next 4 hours worked. His body screamed at him. The gravity made every movement torture. Sweat poured down his face inside the helmet. His hands shook, but he kept going. He set bones. He stopped bleeding. He used a heated blade to seal wounds because proper surgical tools would take too long. He gave injections that would horrify any galactic doctor. He did things that medical school said you should never do. But all 7 survived. When the rescue team finally arrived with proper equipment, they stared in shock. The lead rescuer, a large reptilian alien, walked slowly through the wreckage. He looked at the survivors, all of them stable, all of them breathing. "How?" he asked. Sat on the ground. He was too tired to stand. "One at a time," he said. "That's how." The captain, Kay, was the last one had treated. She grabbed his hand with her small clawed fingers. "You saved us," she said. Her voice was weak. "The others couldn't come. The gravity would kill them, but you came anyway." "I'm a doctor," said. "It's what I do." "No," Kay said firmly. "You are more. You are from a death world. You are strong where we are weak. You fight where we would surrender." She squeezed his hand. "I owe you a life debt. All of us do." Back on the station, news spread fast. The humans had done the impossible. They had worked in gravity that would kill most species. They had saved 7 lives using methods that seemed brutal but worked. In his office, watched the recordings from the rescue. He saw setting bones with his bare hands. He saw the heated blade sealing wounds. He saw the aggressive dosing of medicine. Everything broke protocol. Everything was wrong. Everything worked. Stood beside him. "Remarkable," the small blue alien said. "He saved them all in conditions where we would have failed." "His methods are dangerous," said. "His methods are effective," corrected. "Perhaps that is what matters." That night lay in his quarters again. His body hurt everywhere, but his communication device wouldn't stop beeping. Messages from across the station, from across multiple worlds. Everyone wanted to know about the medic. Came to visit. She looked as tired as he felt. "We're famous," she said, "or infamous, I'm not sure which." "Does it matter?" asked. "Maybe not," she smiled slightly. "But things are changing, people are talking. Some are scared of us, but others are starting to wonder, starting to ask questions." What kind of questions? Questions like, maybe humans know something we don't. Maybe survival on a death world teaches you things. Maybe their aggressive medicine isn't cruelty. Maybe it's courage. Closed his eyes. I just want to help people. You are, said, whether they're ready to admit it or not. The emergency message came at midnight. Woke instantly. Years of military medical training made him alert before his eyes were fully open. All medical personnel priority alert, the station's communication system announced. Colony 74 has declared a medical catastrophe. 10,000 colonists poisoned, requesting immediate assistance. Was dressed and moving in 60 seconds. The medical bay was chaos. Doctors ran everywhere, stood in the center coordinating teams. What's the situation? Asked. Looked at him. Industrial sabotage. Someone poisoned the water supply, a neurotoxin. It affects the nervous system. Hundreds are already dead. Thousands more are dying. What's the treatment? Standard antidote protocol, but Santini drooped. It's not working. The toxin is unknown. Our medicines are ineffective. A screen showed live feeds from the colony. Saw people, reptilian beings with green scales, lying in the streets. They shook and convulsed. Medical teams tried to help, but there were too many victims. I'm going, said. We're sending a full team, replied. You will be part of it. On the transport ship, studied the toxin data. He read through chemical compositions. He compared them to Earth databases. Something looked familiar. Sat beside him. Do you recognize it? Maybe, said slowly. It's similar to organophosphates. Earth has those, pesticides, nerve agents. We've dealt with poisoning like this before. Can we treat it? On Earth, yes, here, shook his head. I don't know, their biology is different. The colony was worse than the videos showed. Bodies lay everywhere. Medical tents were full. Doctors worked frantically, but nothing helped. The victims kept dying. Went straight to the medical command center. A doctor named was in charge. He looked exhausted. Nothing works, said. His voice was hollow. We've tried 17 different treatments. The toxin just keeps killing. Let me see the chemical breakdown, said. He studied the data for 2 hours. Then he called Jinnah. She was a human biochemist on the station. She appeared on his screen looking sleepy. Jinnah, I need help, said. I'm sending you data on a neurotoxin. I think it's similar to Earth organophosphates. Can you synthesize a treatment? Jinnah's eyes widened as she read the information. This is nasty stuff, but yes, I think I can make something. It'll be dangerous, though. The compounds I'd need to use, they're toxic to most species. But they'll neutralize the poison. Probably, but the side effects will be severe. Vomiting, seizures, temporary paralysis. Most galactic doctors would never approve this. How many will it save? Jinnah was quiet for a moment. If it works, all of them. Then make it, said. 8 hours later, Jinnah arrived on the colony with containers of the treatment. It looked like thick green liquid. She handed it to carefully. This is concentrated, she explained. 10 drops per kilogram of body weight, no more. It will cause violent reactions. The patient will look like they're dying, but if the dosage is right, they'll survive. Took the containers. I need to test it. He found a volunteer, a young male who was in early stages of poisoning. His name was, he was scared but willing. This might save you, told him honestly, or it might kill you faster, your choice. Looked at his shaking hands. I'm dead anyway, do it. Calculated the dose. He injected the green liquid. For 30 seconds nothing happened, then screamed. His body convulsed. Foam came from his mouth. His eyes rolled back. Other doctors rushed over. What did you do? One shouted. Wait, said firmly. Just wait. His body jerked and twisted. It lasted 3 minutes, the longest 3 minutes of his life. Then it stopped, lay still. His breathing was steady, his shaking had stopped. I feel better, whispered. The numbness is gone. The treatment worked. But when presented it to the Galactic Medical Council representative, she refused. Absolutely not, said Doctor, a tall, elegant alien with silver skin. This treatment is too dangerous. The side effects are unacceptable. We cannot approve it. People are dying, said. And your treatment might kill them faster. I tested it, it works. On one patient, that's not enough data. We need proper trials, approval processes. This will take weeks. In weeks, everyone will be dead, said flatly. That is unfortunate, but we have standards. We cannot abandon them just because. Governor stepped forward. I approve it. Turned to him. You can't. Medical decisions require council approval. This is my colony, said. His voice was hard. My people are dying. The human's treatment works. I authorize him to proceed. This is against protocol. Protocol is killing us, replied. Let the human work. For the next 3 days, barely slept. They set up treatment stations across the colony. Thousands of lined up. One by one, they received the injection. One by one, they went through terrible convulsions. One by one, they survived. Worked beside him. Rigged up systems to monitor patients. Jinnah kept synthesizing more of the treatment. Other human medical personnel arrived to help. The galactic doctors watched in horror. They saw patients screaming. They saw bodies shaking. They saw what looked like torture. But they also saw the survival rate. Out of 9,847 treated patients, only 312 died. That was a 96.8% survival rate. Without treatment, the death rate was 78%. Doctor was furious. This is barbaric. Look at them suffer. Look at them live, said tiredly. That's what matters. On the 4th day, the last patient was treated. The colony began to recover. The streets were no longer full of bodies. Medical tents were emptying. People walked around, weak but alive. Found sitting outside a medical tent. The human looked exhausted. You saved my people, said. I did my job. No, you did more than that. You fought for us when others wouldn't. You used methods they called cruel, but you saved nearly 10,000 lives. Sat down beside him. The council is not happy. They say you broke too many rules. They say your treatment was dangerous and unapproved. It was both those things, agreed, but it worked. Yes, said. It worked, and now my people are alive to complain about your methods. Word spread across the galaxy fast. The story of the human who poisoned patients to save them. Some species were horrified. They called it butchery. They said humans were too violent to be doctors. But the people didn't care what others thought. They knew the truth. The human had saved them. Back on Station Theta 7, faced another meeting with. He expected to be fired. Instead, just stared at him. You are a problem, the doctor said finally. You break every rule. You ignore every protocol. You do things that should not work. But they do work, said. Yes, admitted. They do, and that is the problem. You are forcing us to question everything we know about medicine. Santini twitched in a new way. Had learned this meant thoughtfulness, not anger. Perhaps, said slowly, we have become too careful, too afraid of causing harm. Perhaps sometimes to heal you must be willing to hurt. You're taught you this. Our gentle worlds did not. So I'm not fired. No, but you are now officially on the emergency response team. When normal methods fail, we will call you. Paused. I do not like your methods, human, but I cannot deny their effectiveness. That night received a message. It was from the first he had treated. Thank you for my life, the message said. I have a daughter. She is 2 years old. Because of you, I will watch her grow up. Or not, you are a healer. Never forget that. Save the message. On his worst days, he would read it again and remember why he did this work. The first patient collapsed in the main corridor, a trader just walking to his ship. One moment he was fine. The next he was on the ground, bleeding from his eyes. Then 3 more fell in the market district. Then 20 in the residential sector. Then hundreds. By the time reached the medical bay, chaos had consumed Station Theta 7. The waiting room was packed. People from dozens of species lay on the floor. More were arriving every minute. "What is it?" demanded. Looked terrified. "Unknown pathogen, spreads fast, very fast. Symptoms include bleeding, fever, organ failure. Mortality rate is," he checked his tablet, "78%. Where did it come from?" "We don't know." The station's alarm blared. "Attention! Medical emergency. Station Theta 7 is now under quarantine. No ships may leave. All personnel report to designated safe zones." But there were no safe zones, not from something that spread this fast. Appeared, but something was wrong. The chief medical officer moved slowly. His antennae drooped, then saw it, blood on his mandibles. "Chief," said. "Collapsed." Caught him, lowered him to a bed. This body was burning with fever. "Get me fever reducers, now." But there were too many patients, not enough supplies, not enough doctors. Within 12 hours, everything fell apart. Died first. The crystalline doctor shattered from the inside as the disease ravaged his unique biology. Then other senior staff, the head nurse, 2 veteran surgeons, the station's best pharmacist. By hour 24, was dead too. Worked non-stop. He moved from patient to patient. He tried every treatment he knew. Nothing worked. The pathogen was too aggressive, too adaptable. It killed differently based on each species' biology. At hour 36, he found in a supply room. She was crying. "I can't save them," she said. "I try everything and they just keep dying." Put a hand on her shoulder. "I know, but we keep trying anyway." "Why aren't we sick?" asked suddenly. "Every other species is dying, but humans aren't affected. Why?" That was a good question. Had noticed it too. Human medical staff were exhausted but not sick. Meanwhile, aliens died around them. "Our immune systems," said slowly. "Earth is a death world. We evolved to fight off thousands of diseases. Maybe our bodies can handle this when theirs can't." Then we're all that's left, realized. All the senior staff are dead or dying. It's just us. 12 humans running a station of thousands. Looked at her. "Then we'd better get back to work." Hour 48, hadn't slept, hadn't eaten, didn't have time. 2,300 patients filled every available space. More were dying every hour. Arrived from the surgical wing. He was another human, a trauma surgeon. His scrubs were covered in blood. "I've done 47 surgeries in 3 days," he said. His voice was flat with exhaustion. "I've lost count of how many died on the table." "Keep going," said. "For how long? We can't keep this up. We're going to collapse." "After the patients collapse," replied. "Not before." He moved to the next bed, a young female. She couldn't have been more than 16. Her mother stood beside her, crying. "Please," the mother begged. "She's my only child. Please save her." Checked the readings. Organ failure. Multiple systems shutting down. On Earth, this would need a full transplant team and days of surgery. Here, had himself in minutes. He made a decision, a terrible decision, but the only one he had. "I'm going to try something experimental," he told the mother. "It might kill her, but she's dying anyway. Do I have your permission?" The mother nodded through her tears. Pulled out a medical kit from Earth. Inside were immune boosters, experimental antivirals, and drugs that hadn't been fully tested. Things that might work on humans but could be fatal to aliens. He had to try. He injected a cocktail of medicines. The young's body seized. Her mother screamed, but after 2 minutes the reading stabilized. Not cured, but stable. "She's alive," said. "She's still alive." He moved to the next patient and did it again, and again, and again. Hour 72. Sora, a human anesthesiologist, found in a hallway. He had stopped to lean against a wall just for a moment. "You need to rest," she said. "Can't too many patients. You've been awake for 3 days." "So have you." Sora smiled tiredly. "Yeah, I guess I have." She paused. "I'm managing 300 critical patients right now. That's impossible. No one can do that, but we're doing it anyway." "Because we have to," said. "No, because we're human. Because we come from a world that tried to kill us every day. And we learned to be too stubborn to die." Hour 84 was treating a patient when he realized something. The pathogen followed patterns. It attacked specific biological processes, processes that were similar across most species but different in humans. That's why humans weren't affected, and that meant. "This wasn't an accident," said aloud. "Was nearby fixing a medical scanner." "What?" "This plague, it's engineered. Someone made it." "Made it? Why would anyone?" "To target specific species. To kill everyone except humans, which means someone wanted the humans to be the only survivors. Or someone wanted to frame the humans for genocide." Access the station's security systems. He backtracked through the logs, looking for anomalies, looking for anything suspicious. There, 3 days before the outbreak, a supply delivery from a ship registered to an isolationist political group. They believed aliens and humans should never mix. The ship's captain was named. He was still on the station. Found him in a locked cargo bay. Was a reptilian species, but he wore a protective suit. He knew the plague was coming. "You did this," said. Turned, the medic. "Yes, I heard about you. You're famous now. The human who saves lives with violence. You killed thousands of people." "I cleansed the galaxy," said calmly. "Humans don't belong here. You're too dangerous, too aggressive. I proved it. Only you survived. Only you could survive. It shows the galaxy what you really are, parasites designed to outlive everyone else." His hands clenched into fists. He wanted to hit, wanted to make him hurt. But he was a doctor, not a soldier. "You're going to help me," said instead. "You made this pathogen. You know how to cure it." "There is no cure." "There's always a cure. Every bioweapon has a counteragent. That's basic military science. You wouldn't release something you couldn't control." Smiled. "True, but I'll never tell you." Pulled out a medical scanner. "Then I'll find it myself." He scanned. Inside the protective suit, the alien's body chemistry was wrong. Foreign antibodies. A vaccine. Had immunized himself before releasing the pathogen. "Got you," said. He called Jinnah. "I need you. Now I'm sending you biological data. There's a vaccine here. Can you synthesize it?" Jinnah's tired face appeared on the screen. She looked at the data. "Give me 4 hours. People are dying. Then I'll do it in 3. Hour 96. For days since the outbreak began, Jinnah produced the first batch of vaccine. It wasn't much, not enough for everyone, but it was a start. Administered it to the critical patients first, those closest to death, those who had minutes, not hours. It worked. Slowly, the disease retreated. Immune systems began to fight back. They made more, hour by hour, patient by patient. The death rate slowed, then stopped. Out of 2,300 patients, and his team saved 1,892. 408 died. When it was over, stood in the medical bay. It was finally quiet. Patients rested in beds. They would recover now. The danger was past. Found him there. She looked at his face. "We saved them." "Not all of them." "More than anyone else could have. You worked for 4 days without sleep. You did the impossible." "I lost 408 people," said quietly. "You saved 1,892, replied. "You stopped a plague. You caught the person responsible. And you did it all while every senior doctor was dead or dying." She took his hand. "The whole galaxy is watching. They saw you. They saw humans working themselves to collapse to save aliens. They saw us refuse to give up. Outside the medical bay, news drones recorded everything. The image that spread across 10,000 worlds was simple. Standing in blood-soaked scrubs, his eyes hollow from exhaustion, surrounded by patients he had saved. The caption read, "Human medic stops station Theta 7 plague, 1,892 lives saved." But didn't care about fame. He only cared about the 408 names on the memorial list, the ones he couldn't save. 6 months later, Medical Station Theta 7 was rebuilt. New staff arrived. New patients came for treatment. Life returned to normal. But everything had changed. Sat in what used to be his office. It was his office now. He was acting chief medical officer until the Galactic Union appointed someone permanent. He didn't want the job, but someone had to do it. A message appeared on his screen. Official communication from the Galactic Medical Council. He opened it. Doctor is hereby awarded the Helix of Valor, the highest medical honor in the galaxy. A ceremony will be held on Central World in 30 days. Attendance is mandatory. Deleted the message. Walked in without knocking. She did that a lot now. You deleted the ceremony invitation, didn't you? How did you know? Because I know you. She sat down. You have to go. It's a huge honor. I have patients, said. The patients will be here when you get back. Go accept your award. No. I said no. I don't want medals. I don't want ceremonies. I want to do my job. She sighed. You're impossible. But noticed something. On her uniform there was a new pin, a small symbol, 2 serpents wrapped around a staff, the human medical symbol. What's that? He asked. New protocol, said. The Galactic Medical Council approved human emergency procedures. Officially. They're teaching them in medical schools now. 27 schools across the galaxy. Stared, they're teaching our methods. They call it emergency medicine. It's a whole new field, is writing the textbook. Before could respond, another message arrived. This one was marked urgent. Mining disaster on Colony 4. Multiple casualties. Standard rescue teams deployed, requesting emergency assistance. Stood immediately. Tell him to prep the shuttle. I'm coming too, said. They moved through the station quickly. Other staff members stopped to watch. Some nodded respectfully. Others saluted. 6 months ago they had feared humans. Now they looked at them with something else. Respect, maybe even admiration. Met them at the shuttle bay. He had their equipment ready. Medical supplies, engineering tools, everything they might need. As they loaded the shuttle, someone called out, "Doctor, wait." A young ran toward them. She wore a medical uniform. Her name badge said, recognized her. She had started working on the station 2 months ago. Can I help you? Asked. Looked nervous. Doctor, I studied your methods at medical school. I learned your techniques. May I come with you? This is dangerous work, said. It's not like a classroom. I know, but I want to help. I want to learn. She paused. Can you handle 3 gravities and no sleep for 2 days? Looked scared but determined. I think so. I've been training, following human exercise protocols. I'm stronger than most now. She shrugged. We could use the help. All right, said, but you follow my orders exactly. Understand? Yes, doctor. They climbed into the shuttle. As started the engines, looked out the window. The station was busy. People of dozens of species walked together, working together, learning from each other. The flight to 4 took 3 hours, was quiet most of the way. Finally, she spoke. Doctor, can I ask you something? Go ahead. Why do you do this? You could have a safe job, you could stay on the station, but you always go to the disasters, the dangerous places. Why? Thought about it, because that's where I'm needed most. But you've almost died, multiple times. Doesn't that scare you? Every day, admitted. But fear doesn't matter. People need help. That's all that matters. Nodded slowly. On my world we have a saying, the wise bird flies away from the storm, but humans, you fly into the storm. Someone has to, said from her seat. Might as well be us. The mining colony was in chaos when they arrived. An explosion had collapsed 3 tunnels. 40 miners were trapped underground. Rescue teams had been working for 6 hours with little success. The colony director, a large crystalline being, met them at the landing pad. Thank the stars. We need help desperately. The tunnels are unstable. We've lost contact with most of the trapped miners. Show me, said. They went to the mine entrance. Engineers showed him maps and diagrams. The collapse was extensive. Standard rescue equipment couldn't reach most of the victims. We need to go in manually, said. Impossible, an engineer replied. The tunnels could collapse further at any moment. It's too dangerous. Looked at and they nodded. They'd done dangerous before. Then we'd better move fast, said. They spent the next 18 hours in the mines. They crawled through narrow spaces. They dug through rubble with their hands. They performed surgery in the dark with only for light. Worked beside them. She was terrified, could see it in her eyes, but she never stopped. When they found a miner with a crushed wing, she held the light while operated. When they needed to move heavy debris, she lifted alongside the humans even though it clearly hurt her. They saved 37 of the 40 miners. When they finally emerged from the mine, covered in dirt and blood, the entire colony was waiting. They cheered. They cried. They thanked the rescue team over and over. But barely heard it. He was thinking about the 3 they lost, 3 miners who died before they could reach them. On the flight back to the station was different, less nervous, more confident. I understand now, she said. Why you teach these methods. It's not about being violent or aggressive. It's about refusing to give up. It's about fighting for every life, no matter how hard. Now you're learning, said. When they returned to Station Theta 7, there was a surprise waiting. A large transport ship sat in the docking bay, official Galactic Union markings. What's this? Asked. A dignitary stepped forward. Doctor, I am Ambassador. The Galactic Union has a proposition for you. They went to a conference room. The ambassador pulled up holographic displays. The Union wants to create a new organization, a rapid response medical team. They want you to be Surgeon General, to lead it. Shook his head. I'm not a politician, I'm a doctor. Exactly why we want you. This wouldn't be political, it would be operational. You would train teams, develop protocols, respond to disasters across the galaxy. I already have a job. Think about it, the ambassador said. You could save thousands more lives. You could teach your methods to hundreds of doctors. You could change galactic medicine forever. After the ambassador left, found in the medical bay, he was checking on patients, like always. Are you going to take the job? She asked. No. This is huge. They're offering you the chance to. To sit in an office, interrupted, to make policy decisions, to attend meetings. He looked at the patients around them. This is where I belong, here, helping people directly. Smiled, I thought you'd say that. But continued, I had another idea. We could create something smaller, a fast response team, mixed human and alien crew. We'd go to emergencies, train local doctors, show them what's possible. Like the team you just had in the mines, said, with. Exactly. Over the next month they built the team, joined as head nurse, as chief engineer, and Sara from the plague response. Volunteered to come too, along with 5 other alien doctors who wanted to learn human methods. They called it the First Response Corps. On their first official day, an emergency call came in. Disaster on a remote mining colony, multiple casualties. Standard teams couldn't reach them. Grabbed his medical kit, was right beside him. The rest of the team assembled quickly. As they walked to the shuttle, a young medic ran up. She wore a new uniform, First Response Corps insignia on her shoulder. "Doctor, I studied your methods. May I come?" Looked at her. He remembered asking for a chance 6 months ago. He remembered being the outsider, the who didn't belong. "Can you handle 3 gravities and no sleep for 2 days?" he asked. Stood straight. "Yes, doctor, I can." "Then let's go save some lives." They boarded the shuttle. As it lifted off, looked back at Station Theta 7. So much had changed. The galaxy had learned that humans weren't monsters. They were healers. Stubborn, aggressive, impossible healers who refused to let people die. The shuttle accelerated. Another emergency. Another chance to help. Another opportunity to show the galaxy that coming from a death world didn't make you violent. It made you a survivor. And sometimes that's exactly what the galaxy needed. Below on the station, a young doctor, who had been saved by poisonous treatment, watched the shuttle leave. He turned to his mentor. "Will humans change the galaxy?" he asked. The older doctor thought about it. "They already have. They taught us that sometimes, to save a life, you must be willing to hurt. That healing isn't always gentle. That the strongest medicine sometimes tastes bitter." "Is that good?" "Look around," the mentor said. "Medical survival rates have improved by 30% since humans introduced their methods. Disaster response times have been cut in half. Thousands of lives have been saved that would have been lost before." He paused, watching the shuttle disappear into the stars. They come from a planet that tried to kill them every day, and instead of becoming killers, they became healers. They learned to fight death itself. Yes, I think that's good. I think that's very good indeed. The young doctor nodded. "I want to learn their methods." "Then study hard, because human medicine isn't easy. It requires courage, determination, the willingness to make hard choices. But if you can learn it," the mentor smiled, "then you can save lives that others would call impossible." Far away in the shuttle heading toward another disaster sat quietly. He thought about who had doubted him, about the patients he'd saved, about the ones he'd lost, about all the lives still out there waiting to be rescued. Sat beside him. "You okay?" "Yeah," said, "I'm good." "Thinking about the ceremony you skipped?" "No, thinking about the work ahead." She laughed. "Of course you are." The shuttle flew on through space. Behind them, a trail of saved lives. Ahead of them, infinite possibilities. And in the years that followed, across 10,000 worlds, people told stories. Stories of the human medic who refused to give up, who fought death with everything he had, who taught the galaxy that healing sometimes requires courage as much as knowledge. They called him a legend. He called himself a doctor. But to the thousands of beings whose lives he saved, he was simply a hero. One medic, one impossible journey, one truth that changed everything. Sometimes the greatest healers come from the harshest worlds.